Hi everyone, welcome to Modern World. My name is Miss Gibbons and I will be your instructor for the year. Just a few quick things. The reminders: if you're having computer problems, your internet's not working, your computer broke, anything that's computer related, you need ink, you don't have a printer, your printer's broken, it's impossible for us to know that unless you express that. So you should be telling your learning guide. You can email tech support directly, or you can also, this is the easiest way, is go to cpdlfhelp.happyfox.com, and this is how you will fill out a new ticket for help. So you would submit a ticket, and then there's all these different categories. You can do this if there's something in your course that's troubling you. Say your computer's broken or your printer, you'd go to hardware. Any password requests, if you need ink for your printer, anything that you're having difficulty with, you can fill out a ticket, and then you would just put the subject and a message, create your ticket, and that will go directly to the tech support, and then you will hear back from them shortly with an answer. So any other difficulties, you can make sure you message me or your learning guide. You can call me at any time, send me a hangout, an email, and I will get back to you within 24 hours. It's important in the course to make sure you're taking notes. It's impossible to remember all of the concepts that are going to be required on your assessments and in the projects. So if you take good notes along the way, you'll find that you're not having to go back and resubmit things, because it's basically an open book test if you have the notes. It's important also to stay on pace. I will be sending you, and we'll go over it in a few minutes, I'll be sending you a pace chart of exactly what you should be doing each week. It's not 100% set in stone. If you want to work past that, you have the freedom to do that in virtual school. But I don't recommend falling behind pace, because the work will never stop building, and it's going to be very difficult if you get behind. Also, if you have low scores, you are able to resubmit once you show that you've actually gone and tried to fix the problem by studying more, taking better notes. So you always have the option to redo something, because we are a mastery-based learning. My instructor course for Modern World will be held in Google Classroom this year, so you will be receiving an invite shortly, and you will want to accept that link, because that is the only place that these weekly launches will be held, and that they are 10% of your grade. So you'll want to make sure you're doing these each Monday. They will be released. There's not a set time yet, but just make sure Mondays you should be going into all of your courses and completing the weekly launches. These launches are to help you with any questions. If we see things that it seems like a big group are struggling with, we can try to address those issues, and also just to continue to help you stay on pace. So when you get into your Modern World classroom, it will look something like this. So the stream is kind of like a Facebook feed. All of the newer material will go to the top of this page. It'll just stack on top of old material. So then the students, or I think yours will say classmates, that's where you will see all of the other kids that are in your class, and you can email them about a problem if you would like. And then the About page is where I will house different resources that you might find useful throughout the year. So right now the only thing there is this Modern World 1 pace chart, which we will go over. One more thing about Google Classroom. I do recommend you go in and turn off your email notifications. You want to go down to settings, and you'll want to make sure that this email thing right here is gray. If it's green, you're going to receive hundreds of emails every week from all of your courses. Every little thing that's done will send you an email. So I would just turn those off, because it will just fill up your inbox. So the pace chart that we're going to go over is, think of it basically like the pace car in a race. It's designed to set the pace for the year of where you should be, so that there's no questions. And the cool thing about the Summit Learning Platform is that that little blue line is also kind of like the pace car for the year. So as long as you are within catch-up distance of that blue line, you should have no problem. You always want to stay as close to the blue line as possible. So your pace chart for the year, oh, that's the wrong link. Let me go in through Classroom. So your Modern World pace chart is right here. So you can see for the first week of the dates being 8/30, that's tomorrow, no, excuse me, Wednesday. From Wednesday to next Tuesday, the 5th, you want to stay right on here. This is where you should be. So consider this a line. So you want to be starting your first focus area of forms of government. And you should also try to complete the first checkpoint of the project. So the Ideas That Change the World project, you'll want to make sure that you're completing that first checkpoint. As for the focus areas, the ones in bold are required for the course. So in order to be considered completely done, you'll want to make sure that you have these bolded ones. The ones that are not bolded are considered additional focus areas. Those are not required, they're recommended, but you should know that it's impossible to get the highest grade possible if you don't do all of the focus areas, including the additional. So the bolded ones are most important, but if you have time and you're pacing yourself well, you should be able to complete the additional focus areas and get an A+ at the end of this. So within the Summit Learning Platform, let's see here. Let's view as somebody different. So the 9th grade, the modern world, this is the first page on the weekly page. This is where you will be creating your goals for the week. So you can go in and say for modern world, okay, she said I should be working on forms of government, so I could check that off. She also said that I should be starting my first checkpoint. So that would be this one here under Ideas That Change the World. So you can set yourself goals so you can have a weekly schedule, because it is important to keep a schedule. Under your year, here's the blue line we were talking about, that little pace line that's going to be going. And as the year goes on, as the months go on, this line will move a little bit each day. So you want to make sure that you're as close to the blue line as possible. So right now, as you can see, the blue line's here. So we want to be working on this first project. So the project in its entirety, I have set for November 7th is when that should be completed. And then you will also want to complete your forms of government within, you should at least be starting this and be halfway through by next Tuesday. So for your first week, let's click on the project. The final product is going to be the Socratic seminar. These 3 things are here. That's the actual stuff that you're going to be turning in at the end. This project, the whole thing is to be focusing on how people and ideas can help spark change. So what you're going to do, this first checkpoint is all that's due for next Tuesday. So you're going to want to click on right here, and this will walk you through the Enlightenment philosophers' secondary source. So it's basically just going to be a little description of philosophers, what their ideas were, and you're going to be just scanning a document looking for important details and that you think are very important about this person. And in order to find those, you'll want to go to, not that one. I'm sorry. There we go. So within the activity, where they actually are, the people that you can choose are within here. So you would just want to find which 2 individuals you'd like to focus on. Okay, and then also you would go back out and you should be working on the first checkpoint, forms of government. So in here, the first thing you'll want to do is you'll start the diagnostic assessment. That's basically a pretest that is going to show what you know and what you might need help with throughout this unit. These parts here are not just there for nothing. These are how you're actually going to learn the material to pass the test and to help you with the projects. So there's the introductory materials. These ones right here are about the purposes of government. These right here are about monarchies, democracies, authoritarian and dictatorships. So you don't have to necessarily do every single thing on here, but you should want to, if you learn better from reading, you'll want to read it. If you want a slideshow or a video, but you need to be trying to learn the material through the playlists. Whenever you feel like you know the material enough, you can request a content assessment. You'll want to get an 8 out of 10 to pass that. And I will be checking and approving content assessments Monday to Friday from between 8 and 9, and again between 3 and 4 p.m. So once I approve the content assessment, you will have 8 hours to take that. If you do not pass the first time and you ask me to open it again, I'm not going to do it after 2 minutes. If an hour or two has passed, I will consider approving it again. But you need to show that you've at least gone back and tried to study. Otherwise, you're going to have the exact same outcome. You need to show that you went back and maybe took better notes, or watched a different video, did more of the playlist to try to help you learn it. So I will not be approving anything if it's just immediately, as soon as you fail, trying to do it again. That's just not how it's going to work. So again, between 8 and 9 a.m. and 3 and 4 is when you will be approved for content assessments. Okay. So for this week, again, from August 28th to September 30th, you want to begin working on the forms of government focus area, and you will also complete checkpoint 1 of the Ideas That Change the World project. So by next Tuesday, you should have both of these started and the first checkpoint completely done. So if you need anything else, please let me know. If not, have a good year, and let me know if you need anything.